Hey, what's going on guys? Dante Trades here, and in this video we're going to be talking about all things take profit trader and some cautions and some warnings and some things you want to pay attention to if you're going to be trading take profit trader. So we're going to do an overview of the TPT rules broken down simply so they're easy to understand. We're going to talk about account sizes and deep dive into choosing the best account for your situation. This is super important and most people get this wrong. We're going to talk about profit goals, trailing threshold, and contracts. We're going to talk about roads to payouts and how to pass strategies, how I've passed my accounts, and also as well we're going to talk about why I think TPT is the best prop firm. I'm a six-figure trader, and if you want a 100% free futures trading course, the link to that will be in the description. Now, platforms and where to click. If you want TradingView, Tradeovate, or NinjaTrader, which is the most popular plan, you're going to go with this plan here. This is called the CQG data feed, and for most people you can skip the rhythmic / wealth charts if you're going to be trading with Tradeovate and NinjaTrader, etc. But this is again some really big warnings you want to pay attention to, and this is actually applies for me. If you trade the level 2 data, you cannot get the level 2 data with the CQG accounts. You need to choose rhythmic data plan. If you don't know what the level 2 data is, don't pay attention to this. It doesn't matter. But for me, I do trade level 2 data, and I haven't seen anybody talk about this on YouTube or warn about this with the level 2 data. And it's really important because if you choose the wrong plan, you can't get a refund, right? And again, make sure you select the right account. And this is me actually reaching out to them, and they literally don't offer it with CQG. Like, you can't buy it as an add-on. It's just not available. So again, make sure you select the right account. And if you trade with level 2 data, you need to trade with the rhythmic plan. And you can also use the rhythmic plan with NinjaTrader as well. Now, once you do select the right plan, you can actually use the code Dante Trades, and it's going to save you 40% here. So you can see the normal amount for a 50K account is 170. So it goes from 170 to 102 per month. And then on top of that, normally Take Profit Trader has a $130 activation fee. You'll never have to pay an activation fee as well if you use my code Dante Trades at the checkout as well. So that's an absolutely massive discount for you guys, and it also helps the channel. So appreciate it if you use the code there. It's a win-win, right? So the next thing we're going to talk about here is account sizes, cost, and choosing the best account. So this is super duper important. The thing we're going to pay attention to here is going to be this number. Now you can see this number here for the 25K account is going to be 1. Now what does that actually even really mean with that 1? So what we're focusing on is we're focusing on the profit target we have to hit versus the trailing drawdown and how much contracts or leverage that we get for, you know, a particular account, right? So to get that number 1 there, what we're doing is we're taking the profit goal, which is 1,500, and dividing it by the threshold, or how much we can lose before we blow the account. And then you get how difficult the account is. So for this situation, for the 25Ks, it is going to be 1. And 1 is really good. That is the lowest number you're going to see on any prop firm. But the higher this number is, the more difficult it is to pass. And with this 25K account, you get 3 contracts, right? So now let's go to the 50K account, right? So for the 50K account, we have the 3K profit goal, and we have the 2K profit threshold. So the difficulty goes from 1, which was here, which was the easiest, to 1.5. So 1 to 1.5 is a 50% increase in difficulty. But for that 50% increase in difficulty, we have a 100% increase in scale, right? So we get double the amount of contracts from 3 to 6 for a 50% increase in difficulty. So that's still really good, right? And if we look here on the 50K, 3K profit target, 6 contracts, and 2,000 trailing drawdown. So the 50K accounts still really good there. Now it's interesting here on the 45K accounts here, you can see the difficulty here is increased by 30%, but the contracts that we have is only increased by 50% in scale, right? So still a decent account in my opinion, but for most people having a 100% increase for only a 50% increase in difficulty, that's still obviously better, right? Because you're literally doubling your contract size. Again, not a bad account, but not the best option in my opinion, but it's still a decent account. Now let's take a look at the 100K account. The difficulty here on the 100K account is going to be 2, because you have a $3,000 threshold that you can lose, and you have to hit a profit target of 6K, right? And the increase in contracts is only 33%. So it's actually pretty bad. So the 100K is the worst. But when we take a look at the next option here, now this is really, really interesting, right? So if you look at the 100K versus the 150K, what do you notice? The 100K and the 150K have the exact same level of difficulty, right? But you have an increase of 25% in cons. So for this same amount of difficulty, you can get 15 contracts instead of 12 contracts. And for that reason, I'm going to say that the 100K is going to be the worst option by far out of all of them on TPT. So for this reason, I would say it does not make sense to trade the 100K because again, it's exactly the same amount of difficulty to pass as the 150K. And for the 150K, you get the max amount of contracts, which is going to be 15 cons. So in my opinion, don't trade the 100Ks basically. You can do what you want to at the end of the day, but just looking at the data and breaking it down, the 100Ks don't really make too much sense there, right? But the 150K, the difficulty is 2, again, the max difficulty, and you get 15 cons. Now, for most people, in my opinion, the most value is going to be the 50Ks, right? Because again, you have a nice balance between how difficult it is, and also as well, the price difference between the 25K and the 50K, it's only a $20 difference. And if you actually also use the discount code, again, you're only going to be talking about like a $5 to $7 difference in these. So for $5 to $7, you can literally get double the amount of contracts, right? So for the rest of this video, for that reason, for most people, 50Ks is going to be the best option. So I'm just going to focus on the 50Ks for the remainder of this video. Again, really quick, the prices and discounts. Again, for the 50K, it's normally $170 a month. With 40% off code, you can go from $170 to $102. We talked about that. And you're going to have that activation fee waived for you there, right? So again, the total cost to get funded if you pass in 1 month is going to be $102. So this is going to be one of the best cost to fund it in the industry right now. And Take Profit Trader has some really, really favorable rules, which we're going to get into here in a second. Now let's actually compare this to something like a Topstep. And again, the reason why we use Topstep is just because they're really popular, right? So Topstep, they cost $49 evals and you get no discount. And then once you pass, you have a $150 activation fee. So this is going to give you $200 in total versus TPT with the discount. You're going to only be looking at $102 in total. So again, one of the lowest cost of funding right now. Absolutely amazing deal. Now, account limits and scale. With TPT, you can have unlimited concurrent eval or challenges. But once you actually get into the funded stage, you can only have 5 max funded pro accounts at any time. So this can be 5 25Ks, 5 150Ks, whatever it is. But you can only have 5 pro accounts at any time, right? Copy trading is allowed with TPT. So you can do that with no worries there. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is evaluation core specs. So again, as we talked about earlier, the profit target for the 50K is going to be 3,000. Your max position size is 6 minis or 60 micros for you guys who want to trade micros. The trailing drawdown is end of day, which is really, really good, right? I really love the end of day trailing drawdown. And you have no daily loss limit, which is also really, really great with TPT. So these are going to be the core specs. Now, evaluation key rules, right? So you have to hit the profit target of 3K, obviously, right? You don't want to exceed 60 minis or 60 micros. You don't want to breach the $2,000 end of day trailing drawdown. So again, obvious stuff there. One thing you need to be aware of as well is you want to be flat by 5 p.m. EST and the trading resumes at 6 p.m. So if you try to hold positions overnight through this time, it's just going to auto liquidate or just close your trade out. And you can open those trades again back at 6 p.m., right? And the consistency rule and the evaluation phase is going to be 50%. So your best day cannot be greater than 50% of the target. So in this case, your profit target is going to be 3,000 here. So you can't have your best day be over 1,500, right? Because if it is, then you're going to be over that consistency rule. And if you do breach the consistency rule, it's totally fine. You're not going to lose an account or anything. You just have to keep trading until you get back within the proper consistency rule, right? Now, evaluation time requirement, you have a minimum of 5 trading days to pass with TPT. So you have to trade at least for 5 days. You don't have any max time, but minimum 5 days. So it makes sense to spread the profits across 5+ days. Don't try to flip in one day because you can't really do that, right? Now, passing strategy example rhythm. If you want to know exactly how I've been passing my TPT accounts, I will pop a video up on the screen here showing you guys exactly the setups, etc. that I use to pass my TPT account. But day 1 to 2, we're looking for modest base hits, so $200 to $400 per day. Day 3 to 4, we're looking for like bigger setups if we do see them. So if you can hit that 1,500 max cap on a trade, then you can do that in day 3 or 4 once you built up, like a couple winning trades there, so you have like a little bit of a buffer there. But day 3 or 4, we're just stepping on the gas pedal a little bit basically, and then day 5 we're just topping off the remaining to reach the $3,000 profit goal, probably trading like micros at that point, etc. But this is the passing strategy. So tip, if I see no setups, I usually will open and close one micro trade just so it can count towards the traded day, because again with TPT you have to trade for a minimum of 5 days to pass. So some days I won't see any like proper setups, so you can literally just take a micro trade and open it and close it, and then it will just count as a trading day, so you don't actually waste that day, right? Because if not, it might take a lot longer for you to actually pass. So just a little tip for you there. So funded pro accounts and what changes. So what changes in the funded pro account is you have no profit target, no consistency rule. So this is really, really great, right? So you can literally, once you pass, you can literally take a payout in the first day if you want to. So say for example, if you pass a 50K account and then the first day you make $3,000, you can literally take that money out, anything above the buffer, the first day, right? So no profit target, no consistency rule. This is really, really great. You must place at least one trade per week to keep the account. So again, once you pass, make sure that you are placing trades in your account so you don't actually lose the account. And they do have a news rule on the pro accounts. You cannot open trades within 1 minute before or after scheduled news events when it comes to Take Profit Trader. And the drawdown switches to intraday trailing as well. And if you don't know what intraday trailing drawdown, I'll just explain it to you here really quick. Let's just say, for example, you have your 50K account in your pro account. And let's just say you catch a really nice trade and you go from 50K to, let's just say, 52K, right? So 50K to 52K. And let's just say you wanted to take profit at a higher profit target than 52K. So you actually hold that trade a little bit longer. But in this case, that trade, it actually doesn't run for you better. And then it goes back against you and you're back at your entry or your starting balance of 50K, right? Let's just say you went back up to 52K and then it didn't work out for you and then you just broke even. Because your account went up to a 52K balance and it's trailing you as your account balance increases, that's going to count as a $2,000 loss, even though you are still back at the account balance of 50K. So just know that, right? When it's trailing, it trails you from the highest account balance. So just be very careful when it comes to trailing drawdown, right? So that's how that works. So take profit at your target. Don't let these big trades turn red or break even. So intraday trailing drawdown favorites scalpers, again, and base hit traders. In the 50K, once you've banked, let's just say 2,000 profit, the trailing drawdown does stop following you there. So once you actually hit that buffer zone, it will stop following you. But until you actually get to there, you got to be really, really careful. So from there, you can build a cushion and drawdown no longer exists. But till you get to your, till you get over that buffer, you got to be really, really careful because, you could just get yourself blown your accounts, right? So this is not ideal for like really wide positional swing trade style. So it just is what it is. And that's going to be the situation with pretty much every prop firm out there. Now, the buffer zone equals the max initial drawdown. So the 50K is going to be $2,000. That's your drawdown. So that's going to be your buffer zone. Once your profit is over your buffer, you can withdraw the excess daily, right? So this is really, really huge. And this is why I love Take Profit Trader. You can literally take profit every day, right? That's what it's in the name, Take Profit Trader. And they have no payout caps. You can take out all your profits above the buffer immediately and daily. So again, this is really, really good, right? Because again, in theory, you can just come in, make a 5K trade, 10K trade or whatever, and you can literally just take all that out, right? So it's really, really good, and you can get paid daily. So this is really, really good with TPT. Again, you don't want to be trading too crazy, but it's just very favorable rules. And they have this, again, no consistency rule. You can make as much as you want. So this is really, really good. So again, example on day 1, if you make $3,000, you can take $1,000 out to withdraw the same day and every day, right? Because the reason why you can take out $1,000 is because $3,000 is $1,000 over $2,000, right? So really, really simple there. And they have an 80-20 profit split from your first payout, right? But for me, I'm totally fine with that because of these super duper favorable rules. I mean, they have like these amazing payout rules. You can get paid out daily. So I'm actually really cool with taking an 80-20 split with Take Profit Trader in this case, just because they have such favorable payout rules, right? So payout methods that they have is US Bank, they have Wise, they have, or PayPal. I use Plaid personally. It just goes straight into the bank account with ACH. It usually takes a day to get a payment, so it's really easy. It's fast processing, and you can just choose what works for your banking setup. So who TPT fits best for and why? So I think TPT is best for newbies and most people, to be honest, because they have really simple and easy rules to get payouts. And in my opinion, they have the best products right now when it comes to the perfect balance of leverage and difficulty. They have no consistency rule on the Pro Plus. They have the daily payouts and no payout cap. This is an absolute game changer. And once you actually get above that buffer on your Pro Plus account, it basically just becomes a personal account, right? So this can't be beat in my opinion. The scalpers and base hit traders who take profits quickly, this is really good for TPT as well. You can possibly swing trade when it comes to TPT, but trading prop firms in general, you know, if you like taking these really wide, you know, trades and this kind of thing, and these things run against you, it's just going to be a little bit more difficult trading prop firms in general. So just know that. And people who are comfortable working with intraday trailing drawdown in the funded stage. Now, it's not too hard to get over that. You just have to be careful until you get over that buffer. So yeah. And also the last thing is people who are looking for low cost to funding and daily payout flexibility. So again, as we showed you, compared to Topstep, and in my opinion, Take Profit Trader rules are extremely more favorable than Topstep for sure. But if you look at the cost of funding, I mean, Topstep cost of funding is like double when you compare it to something like a TPT. So it is what it is. But at the end of the day, I say this in every video, prop firms are just tools. You want to think about prop firms like training wheels on a bike. And in crypto, when I used to trade crypto, we used to say this phrase, and it's called not your keys, not your crypto. With prop firms, I like to say not your capital, not your profits. You always want to aim to build your own account. That is the real freedom and the real goal. And when it comes to Take Profit Trader or My Funded Futures or Topstep or anything like that, at the end of the day, we really don't know what's happening behind the scenes of any of these prop firms, how much money they have on deck. And again, this is just for any prop firm out there. So again, you just want to be taking that money out. And the ultimate goal is to build your own account, because we really don't know what's going to happen, you know, day to day. Any prop firm can go up and be gone, and then we trade a new prop firm, you know, next year. So it is what it is. And again, I haven't heard anything like that with Take Profit Trader. I haven't had any problems with payouts or anything like that. This is just a general proper mindset you have to have when trading prop firms, in my opinion, right? One last unique perk when it comes to funded accounts and funded resets, you can actually have 3 resets on funded accounts when it comes to Take Profit Trader. You don't have to stumble again with taking a challenge. You can just pay the reset your funded account and just be right back into a funded account. Now, the last thing I want to talk about here is the 4 payout rule. So you don't want to stop at your first payout, because it might just be luck. It's unlikely, but still. But after 4 payouts, you've proven that you can trade consistently. Then you want to start saving money from your own account, right? That's pretty much it for this video. And again, if you guys really want to use TPT, got the massive discount code for you using the code Dante Trade. You can just click the link in the description. It would automatically apply that discount. You can also as well get the free course in the description. They have that $200 free futures trading course for 100% free. And yeah, that's it. Like and subscribe, do all the stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video.